How you been, bro? What's up?
I've been good, man. How you doing?
I've been good, man. I've been good. It's been some time, huh? So a few months.
It's been a while. We've been
Yeah,
out of the element for a long time.
yeah, and people have figured that like, or have guessed that like, oh, we're out of the business after the first episode.
We're, uh,
Um, and that's far from the truth. We're here, we're
not
back. And
quitters.
you said what?
So we're not some quitters.
Oh
Sometimes
no,
life
not
just
at all.
gets in the way. It's kind of hard to balance a lot of things.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting start of the year. So we're already June. I don't even know how that came,
Yeah.
but we're here, and it's we're here. I really don't know what else to say other than that. But if you guys don't remember, the first episode we talked about uh, porn and addiction from the male's perspective. I think that was a great way to really label uncomfortable conversations and what we're about. So um, we have an exciting episode. If you want to tell them what we're talking about today and what's it all about.
Today we're talking about men's mental health and the fact that most men can't talk about that. It
Right.
comes off as weird or uncomfortable, or you get attacked more. I feel like nowadays it's more dangerous for your mental health as a man to talk about it.
Wait, now it's not getting easier.
uh, I mean, around it's all about environment.
Right.
It's not something that you can just go up to a stranger like, hey man, I'm going through it. They're gonna be like, what are you going through?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not gonna be that easy. It's not. I mean, it takes courage from the man side for one, but at the same time it's like where there's so many social norms we're supposed to fit into.
Hmm.
Like you can't just talk about your feelings because men aren't supposed to have feelings. That's what society has
That's
raised
deep
us to
on us.
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I think like I'm here in the Middle East right now, and I go back and forth to Denver, and I feel like it doesn't change. Um, Men are men everywhere in this world, bro. We're the same, no matter where we came from. And it's wild to me because like here I have a really diverse group of friends, more diverse than like anywhere else in the world. Um, but they're the same. Like guys really don't talk about their feelings, and like with us being like zoned in and quarantined and everything these past few months, there was a lot of like sitting down and chilling, but there was no like discussing like, hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
There's no talk about that. There's no discussion at all.
Yeah.
And I think that it's getting better, but I still think that stigma is still there. And I think like especially like when I think about my own experiences, like this time last year, it was the whole Black Lives Matter movement going on with George Floyd and everything, and I was protesting. You already know, like in the streets, like
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
And I remember in the beginning it was like, okay, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, but I didn't really know how to communicate that other than saying, fuck the police and everything like that.
Yeah.
Um, and then like I remember like there was a day, like weeks into the protest, where I was just like overshadowed. I was overwhelmed. Like finally, my feelings have caught up to me. My, like I had to face the truth where I was like, man, I'm tired. I'm really stressed. This is a lot. You know, protesting is not easy, especially when you're doing it like on a daily. And like my whole job was writing about it and discussing it. So there was no break with me. And social media was, which is a good thing. It was all talking about it, but when that's all you're doing, sometimes you just exhaust yourself. And I really didn't know how to handle that. I didn't really know how to be like, whoa, I need a break. I just kind of just like, I think I broke down one day and I was just like, man, I had to realize like, look, the movement's always gonna be here. This is not going nowhere. But I am, so like I got to take care of myself, prioritize myself. I got to understand myself. And I think from like last summer to now this summer, I think there was a huge jump. There's a huge, and like for me to like, oh, understand myself. But that wasn't easy because I'll be honest with you, I don't know like a lot of people that I could have just been like, yo, bro, I'm going through it. Like that was not simple.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I don't know how your experiences have been with mental health, with your own mental health, but I can say, and I can say for a lot of guys that I know that it's not something that you can just talk about. Like, hey guys, I'm
yeah,
feeling bad, because people don't expect that from, especially black males. They don't expect that from like there's a male stigma, then there's a black male stigma, and that's deep, man.
yeah. And I don't know, my experience is I've had times in my life, where I like just have unwanted thoughts, bro. Like I just can't stop thinking, or like I'll just be in my head too much.
Right.
I always used to think like something's wrong with me, like I'd always have that thought that something is wrong with me. And I never communicated it with anybody. I still don't. Like sometimes I still get unwanted thoughts. We're human. Like we're not our thoughts at the end of the day. But it's
Right.
something that took me a while to understand. Like you are not your thoughts. And I've always like it's hard to get a full control over your thoughts. Like sometimes your brain just goes into autopilot. Like one thought leads to another thought leads to another. You just can't stop.
Yeah.
It's like it's hard. It's not easy to deal with it, especially when you're social, when you're around people. Like
Right.
the way I deal with it is like I realize I gotta start. Sometimes I'll disappear. Like you won't hear from me for a couple
Yeah.
like and it's not because something's wrong like with you or something's wrong with someone else. It's because I I need to reset. I need to take
Exactly.
that time to myself to go within and just calm down and just figure
You
things.
gotta go. You gotta go ghost, man. And
Yeah,
like, bro, like I'm smiling because that is such a like common. I feel like action for a lot of males. Like if you ask a lot of my relationships, not a lot, but like there's a few where a lot of people will say, yeah, I'll say doesn't really talk about his feelings. I don't really know how to talk to him if there's something is going on wrong, and if he does, I just go into his like ghost mode, and I'm just like, and it's kind of like it's really bad. It's such a, like a it's like such a I feel like it's also like a really desperate that's and but it's our like only our second option. It's not even like the last option. It's just like, oh, not feeling well, you know, I need to take a break from niggas. Or that's just how it is. And that's just like, and just like you said, you got to put up this appearance. Like people know you, from either from just from from the city, your channels and everything like this, and you're like, oh, you're out there. And so the minute you start, feeling some type of way, and you're not yourself, it's just like, oh man, it's like, oh, he's just having a bad day. There's nothing deep to it, because he can hold himself,
yeah,
right? That those are the things that come up. People expect, you're the last person,
yeah,
like, feel some type of way or have like depression and all these, notions that we as a community never talk about.
yeah. And we're all human. Like it's
Yeah,
normal. It's not like nowadays it's more normal than ever, bro. Like phones cause depression sometimes. Like I don't think I don't know. I don't know the facts. Like fact check in the comments down below. I don't know, let us know. But I feel like
phones causing depression.
I just not like phones, just like your phone you're holding. I
Technology.
feel like the way you engage with social media, it depends on
Right, right,
people. I did a
right.
research paper on it before about like just social media and its links to depression. And it
Mm,
like there were a lot of like studies by scientists on it, and it really depends on the user. Some people experience lifted moods because of social media, and
right.
some people become depressed. And it's just depending on your feed. What are you watching? What are you following?
Yeah,
What are you consuming? Because
yeah.
you become what you start to consume. So it really a lot of things play a role in the way we think. That's why like when I go ghost or just disappear, it's because I need to reset. Like you leave your computer running for too long, it's gonna start slowing down, lagging. You gotta reset it, turn it off, turn it back on. It's the
Yeah.
same thing, yeah. Like,
No, no, I agree with you on that. I feel like, it's it might now it might be just a little bit easier to talk about mental health, but with social media and like memes and like all of those surrounding, like everything's a joke, bro. That's the crazy thing. I remember watching I didn't even watch it to be honest, but it came up last year with the Will Smith, Jada, like the whole thing that was going on. And like people were just posting like Will Smith crying and like, just using that as a meme, right? Like I mean, or not crying, but and he was really like in his feelings. And I was just like, what, bro? Like this whole like this man's out here talking about his feelings. And we say, yo, talk about your feelings, man. And then, people are clowning him.
yeah,
And people like I mean, there's other people that get clowned. And it, like just celebrities, mostly black celebrities, black male celebrities, and it's just like, man, okay, you guys say Twitter's old. There's a Twitter space that says, yeah, let's talk about it, let's open it up, and then there's a whole another side that just completely ridiculous, everything that you say. You say, man, I'm just not feeling good. Guys are gonna say, man, you need some a girl in your life or whatever, like like I got friends that I said, I was once with a couple of friends and they were like, someone wasn't feeling well and they're like, man, you know what? You got to go hit the strip club, bro. Like, forget that, bro. You got to see some booty, bro. And I was just like, oh, like, and I had to like on a personal note, make sure that guy was straight. But even when you try to check up on somebody, and I feel like this all the time, we just have walls, just walls on walls on walls. Just be like, I'm good, bro. I'm straight.
yeah.
And
I have
we
those walls too.
both know it's not. We're not straight, dog. But
Yeah. I mean, but it's like so much you can do, like even with me, I'm like, all right, bro. Like, even when I want to talk about, like, my first thought is like, all right, cool. Like, if I talk to someone about their feelings, about my feelings,
right.
I mean, what are they going to do for me? Like, that's the thought that I had that makes me create the wall. Like, what are they going to do for me? Like, are they,
Yeah, You're your best therapist.
you
You're
can't band-aid
nobody
my
else.
feelings for me. Like, I don't know if it's like something that I've grown into or something I was raised into. I don't know, but it's like that's the way I've always viewed my mental health. It's like I don't talk about my problems because what is the person going to do for me, you know? And I don't know. Like I've over time, like just by having that mentality, I mean, it probably would have been quicker if I just would have went to see someone like a therapist or something, for sure. But over the years, like with that mentality, that's how I learned how to tackle my own issues and
Right.
just develop as a person. I mean,
Have you ever like seen a therapist? Like, have you gone that route? Um, and why?
I've never felt comfortable just telling someone everything that I'm going through or like just how I feel,
Right.
I don't know. I don't even know where these trust issues come from or stem from. I just feel
Right.
like it's in my blood. Like I just don't like talk about how I feel to other people. And it's definitely taken a toll on me over years. But like now it's like I've figured it out. Like, I don't
Right.
know. I've also like I've seen people that have like gone through things and they'll talk about how like they used to have panic attacks, anxiety attacks, things like that. And it's just, like they sat through it. They sat through the pain. They didn't go talk to a therapist. They didn't do any of that. They just learned to do it themselves. And even though that might be harder and take more years, I feel like it's possible. But because
Right.
of these social norms and just like expectations of men, it's not likely for them to go talk to a therapist.
No,
And
yeah, I think. Go ahead before and now come back to it.
one of the biggest things that stops me from talking to even like my friends about like what I'm going through is like I don't want to bring anyone else down. I want to keep the vibe good. Like I don't want to project myself onto someone else, you know? Like even if I'm having a bad day, I'll try to smile just to
Right.
make the other because you know like the smallest thing can throw someone else's day off. You know, energy is contagious at the end of the day, and I don't.
Yeah.
You just got to be aware of the energy you project, and that's why I kind of stay to myself.
Right. But I think that's just like also, because I grew up the same. I'm the oldest in my family. I've never really had, except maybe just like my father figure and like a couple other guys in my life where I could be like, oh, I could look up to them and see. But even my father is somebody that's very quiet on his feelings. I don't really know when he's like, parents, African immigrant parents. You never know what's actually going in their head.
Yeah,
So I think that generation of trauma, there's that, and on top of that, just being a male, like growing up, if you start crying, like anything, you get angry and your tears start going up, and you're like, why are you crying? Don't cry, like that whole that that is a whole thing, communication that I always heard when I was young, like don't cry, and get over it, man up, like
yeah,
and I think I started realizing like, man, like I gotta first, just like you said, energy is very contagious, and like now that I'm old enough and I understand myself and I'm getting better and better. I always watch how like I talk to my younger brothers. I'm making sure like I'm not putting that same image, like, oh, you got to grow up and shape up, and like you can't cry about your feelings, and you can, man. It's 100% okay. And you can talk. Like for me, I've had to sit down with the therapist. It was very awkward. Like it was just like like I wasn't trying to talk. She was trying to force me, and I know like what's happening. And it's really, I think like for a lot of guys, they're like, why am I going to sit therapist? Like what can she really offer? Like from a discussion. But I've had discussions where, man, I'm thinking about them weeks, months later, where I'm just like, wow, that was wonderful. And sometimes they're the things that keep me moving forward. So I mean, for me right now, I'm even looking for like a black therapist. So hey, if you guys know black therapists, let me know. That's something I'm really looking for. Because that's just my ideal. I feel like I've always felt like I need someone that can at least understand where I'm coming from, even if they don't know where how I came from there. That they can understand the roots of the
yeah,
problem. And I think for especially for black people, we need to have that sit down and have that discussion somewhere, someplace, because I could just know it's been a tough year last year, especially I don't even want to think about it, bro. But like, what's to stop that from happening again, and we go through a lot, and there's this whole studies that I've seen about males and black males and depression. Males are the suicide rates are much higher than the female gender. So, man, like there's a huge problem. There's a stigma, we already know, but there's no like resources on how male talk to another male. I think the only time where I really realized like it's okay, that it's starting to be okay, is when I saw some like NBA players talking about it, and I was like, okay, man, like some and that kind of persuaded me to like really think about my own feelings when you see role models and and the things that you like watching, talk about it. So I think that helps. But man, there's a stigma, and there's a long journey, a long conversation ahead. To be honest, you
yeah.
know, and so it's kind of difficult to know where to start.
Yeah, there's so much you can touch on. Like, I just feel like nowadays, instead of people talking about what they're going through, most people find something to distract them from it, find something to run
Facts.
away from it, you know? Like, let me pour up real quick, or
Right.
let me go smoke, or, you know, whatever it might be, like just to get away from yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not like the wound's just gonna heal, you know? You're just getting away from it for a little, but it's still there. Like you sober up, you're coming right back to it, you know?
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah, and I mean, we both live in Denver. We know how that community, for especially young people, like drugs influence. a lot of males, females too, but a lot of males have overdose is not like a it's something that that it commonly happens. Drugs mask a lot of the things that we go through, and it's um it's it's tough, man. It's really tough. Like it's something that keeps me like awake a lot, because I'm thinking about like my own friends and my own brothers. I'm just like, man, it could be any day. Well, I could think like, oh, because I can hide pretty well. I know I can hide my feelings well. So if I know I'm hiding a lot of things and I do it well, I know somebody else can do the same. So I won't be surprised if something happens, and I just and that's something you really just you don't want to overboard with somebody and be like, yo, bro, you straight, I heard this, and I heard like, no, I'm good. You don't know where's that level,
Yeah,
and I feel like it's a balance, because it's such a sensitive topic, man. And you don't want to lose a friend just because you push yourself on top of them, or you thought something. So it's yeah, it's at least we're having this conversation.
yeah.
I think that's a start. Yeah, that's a start, man. Because I really think conversations, just like a simple conversation, is the start to anything. Um, and so, what do you like? What are ways in? So you're not seeking, or maybe you are seeking therapists, or you haven't persuaded that route yet. But like, how do you keep yourself uplifted? How do you keep yourself, you know, you know,
I just
level?
it's my routine, like
Right. Let's
there-
talk about that routine.
there's things you can do that I don't know, it's different for everyone, you find what
Right.
makes you happy, you find what you like to do that keeps you in a good mood. I feel like if you get off your routine, then your thoughts can go another way. I mean, your thoughts are just a product of what you consume, whether it's what you're eating or just what you're watching, what you're listening to, what you're doing. Like
Right.
just your environment plays such a big role in your thoughts. So it's like, I don't know, some people find it like, let me go on a long drive with some loud music playing, clear my head. And that's
Right.
some people's literally routine. They do that every day and it works
Yeah.
for, I mean, there's a different form of just disconnecting from your thoughts or meditating on anything. Meditation isn't just sitting down and being quiet. There's other ways to quiet your brain. And for me, I mean,
Yeah.
I do a lot of different things. It's like you get outside and just, not even a lot of people go outside nowadays, especially during quarantine. Like for the most part, like sure you go outside, get some food, but like if you ask
Actually go outside, like actually
if you
get
ask
some air.
ask the average person, like, when's the last time you sat down in a park for like 20 minutes? Or when's the last
Right.
time you went on a hike? Or when's the last time you even sat in your backyard?
Right.
Most people are not going to answer like recently. Really depends on location. That plays a big part. But like, I mean, in Colorado, it's hard to do in the winter because it's cold. But
Yeah.
like, just like, even if you're at home, there's things you can do for self-care. Like,
Mm.
it
No, I
really,
mean, I,
go ahead.
I, I feel, I feel like I agree completely. Like using like cost-free resources, just being outside. Going on for like I run every night. That's how I can keep up with my assignments, my work, and everything. That makes me clear out, and I can just focus on my path. But like I feel like the first thing is to acknowledge, like, and just to be honest with yourself and say, like, yo, am I okay? And if I'm not okay, let's go on this whole journey and agree with yourself that like you want to be okay. And it's first, it's okay to not be okay, but and that's I feel like no everybody like social media, like you said, it gives you this appearance that like people are living in Miami, chilling, spring break. You know what I'm saying? Living the best life. on some hot boy, hot girl, shit. But like,
It's never even the
oh,
truth.
oh, just an action, man. Like,
I mean,
we've been on trips together where we're like, yeah, we gotta take a picture because
yeah,
I gotta go in this moment.
and it's
Go
like
ahead.
some people like go on vacation and they're just like,
Yeah, the vacation is
"Oh,
just
vacation,
distraction.
but I'm just pissed. Let me smile for the camera.
Exactly. For the Insta, and I think that's what. So first, you gotta put, that shit is just bullshit. Like social media is such a social media is it's social media. Don't believe in the internet. I've never looked at the internet and been like, oh, Twitter's a smart app. Like, no, bro. Like that has never come across. And I don't care how many what people think, but like I've never done that. So first you gotta like see your actual reality, and from there I think figure out if you're feeling some type of way, and don't be afraid of traditional routes like seeking, a therapist, or talking to a counselor. And I know that like that, black people, the medical world are like two complete roads. There's just no trust. I don't trust my doctor. How the hell can I trust these? Like, what are they going to just give me medicine and things like that? Because I've talked to friends, and this has been on meds, and for me, like, I try to avoid those things. I know it works for sure for people, but like, I don't want to take pills to make me feel better. I don't want that. Like, that chemical. Like, if there's a chemical imbalance in my brain, I want to find a spiritual. I want to find a more in ground solution. But people have different routes for everything, and so you gotta find what works for you, and not really listen to like what's working out for other people. And like, I mean, take those into consideration, but don't just substitute into your life. But like you said, I feel like there's a lot of ways to talk about mental health with yourself, but you got to start with yourself before you start. And that's like, how do you even do that? Like, how do you say, um because there's like, if you're feeling sad one day, oh, is it my mental health, or is it just like I'm just feeling sad today, just out of no reason,
Yeah,
or you're angry or whatever. So there's a lot of like roads to it, you know what I'm saying? So that's just uh that's just my take.
yeah. I mean, it's a difficult conversation. Like,
It's
it's
uncomfortable conversation.
yeah, it's not easy.
Mm-mm. And it's not supposed to be easy, man. I wish it was, but it's not, and I don't think like any community of people, or like white people, you know, it's not an easy conversation for them. Like, there's nobody in this world that has like the solution for this. No, like, particular race has like gotten closer to the solutions for mental health. That's
Yeah,
not a thing, because it's a human issue. It's such a it's embedded within our like DNA.
yeah,
Uh, the struggle and the journey and everything like that. That's what makes life so interesting. But you know, yeah. Do you want to add some points on anything?
I just feel like it's important to be more self-aware, of what you project onto other people, because you never really know what's going on to someone else. So
Mm,
it's like sometimes it's hard, like, to be that filtered, like, let me not say anything, or let me watch what I'm saying, because I don't know what anyone else is going through, or like I don't know how this can affect them. It could be the smallest joke, and then someone will go home and cry about it, and you won't even know that they're going through something. You know what I mean?
right.
It's just more about just being aware of the energy you're putting out, because like, not everyone has it figured out. Not everyone has it together. And
Right.
it's like,
Yeah.
we want to make it easier on everybody, not just easier on myself. Like, it's I don't know. It's like it's difficult. It's because you know roast culture. You know, like
Rose culture.
people just get around. I don't know. You know, you seen it in our friend group. You know, we'll just sit around, just start cooking each other. You know.
Oh yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, there's sometimes where I'm not the fault of those, or like,
Yeah.
but and that's the thing, because like we're just so brought up into that. Like that's what we've been doing. Let me cook
Oh,
this
it's
guy.
fun, bro.
Talking, he's talking right now. Let me get on his bucket real quick. Yeah, remind him. And the thing is, we know what to say. We know what hurts people when you're saying shit like that. That's
Exactly.
and that's the bullying part about it is you. And I think over the years, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like I think I've gotten a lot better on trying to make sure, like, let me, even if this guy's joking on me, let me not say anything, because I could, if my words are gonna hurt and it could leave a mark, and I'm not trying to be that guy no more,
Yeah.
'cause, yeah, I'm sure there's times where somebody said something to you and you're like, it made you feel some type of way, even if it was something like slight, it was still something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that whole roast culture where people are just up in the park in a barbecue, just cooking each other,
Heck yeah.
um, till yeah, and it's
I
it's
mean, it
bad.
happens now.
Smile for now, but then it could be a whole fist later. So
I mean, it all starts with that, and it's like my thing is, bro. All right, when I was little, just younger, my this is how I go about it. You know, I'm not gonna start cooking somebody. Just
right,
I never do it first. Someone cooks me, bro, but I go all out, bro. And then they never do it again. But I never realized the damage I might have did to them. You know, like, and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not.
Nah,
It's
it's not fun, man. It's not. I think it's when it's just jokes, small jokes, okay. But once you start getting deep, start talking about people's like history or whatever, or like you have that one guy that brings up some like shit in the past,
yeah.
then then like it's just like, all right, bro, then
There,
it speaks on
there's
the
always
friendship.
that one guy that takes it too far.
Is that
It's
one
like
guy?
go from
Yeah,
jokes to like, hey, let me get on you and your family situation real quick, you know?
yeah, bro, and it's just like, yeah, I'm laughing now, but I swear I'm not trying to laugh. Like it's funny. It's so relatable, because that happens. I'm telling you, like everywhere, and it's not just guys in Denver or where we grew up from in the city. No, it's just guys in general. Like I'm telling you, I'm in the Middle East. This is a very like crazy part of the world. Very unique, and people do the same thing. And people do it like all over the world. Men just cook each other because that's just how it is. And we're stupid, man. Like men are stupid, bro. Like that's the bottom line is that we're dumb, but the deeper thing is it's I feel like even when you're cooking somebody, man, it come out wrong, and it could really damage that person, and it leaves that like reputation of, oh man, you got cooked the other night by what's his name, and
Yeah, like don't
and that can
leave
carry on for
here.
years, bro. Yeah, and sometimes people change friend groups because they don't want to be part of like associated with that, that reputation anymore or what. So um, I think yeah, so I think simple things like that, I think gotta go. Like where you gotta realize, I man, let me be cool. Let me not really, go too far on this. Let's have rules into this and this roast. And that's not like a sensitive thing. People can be like, oh, you're too sensitive. Even that, when people say you're too sensitive, I think that's a stigma. Like, bro, what does sensitive mean? Let me be sensitive, man. If I'm a sensitive guy, I'm a sensitive guy.
You know,
You
it
know?
really does just depend. I don't know. Like there's been situations where it's like there's friendships that I've had that have just been built off of roasting. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Uh,
like,
uh,
and I never take it personally, but like, like I'll get cooked, but I'll cook you back, and no one
right.
ever takes it personally. And then there's the situations where it's like, no, we about to fight now, like,
Yeah.
like, it really comes down to how well you know somebody too sometimes, because some people like I can't go into a party and just start cooking someone I just met 5 minutes into meeting
But I
them.
swear to God, there's people like that exist, bro.
They are, bro.
Yeah. Strange, strange.
That's just their way of socializing. That's their way of,
I guess, yeah.
and
And I think that's a whole nother issue. That's just like, you know, I don't know.
I don't know, bro. It's weird.
Yeah. We'll put that for later. I don't know. But yeah, bro. Like I think from cooking and just watching your words and how you talk to people, even in relationships, males. Like I swear to God, I've been in a serious relationship. I know people that have been in serious relationships. I swear to God, there's never been a time where someone talks about their relationship and be like, "Yeah, man, I love this girl." And when someone does bring that up, they're like,
Like, what? You simp? What?
exactly. It's just like, you keep that to yourself. Like, I don't talk about my relationships ever to my guy friends. Like, you don't hear me talking about it. It's just me.
Yeah.
Whatever problems I face or whatever, like, good things that are happening, I just keep it to myself. Because I don't want to come out as like, yo, man, this guy, look at this lovebird or this simp or whatever, like, so like from relationships to like actual things that are going on in the household to like our own feelings, our own mindsets, man, guys just can't talk about shit, bro, unless it's like money or women or like shoes and sports. Like it's we're that simple, sadly, like there's no deep. You can hear any guy's like afternoon with his boys and that's all we talk about.
Yeah.
So it's wild.
It is, and it's always the same thing. I don't really, but it's like five different conversations that just recycle over and over and over
Yeah,
my
pretty
whole life,
basic.
you know. Like
Yeah,
some people, I just have never talked to them about anything besides basketball or
yeah,
like just funny things or like entertainment. It's
yeah,
never deeper conversations,
yeah.
and it's never about things that matter. Like it's gotten to a point now where I'll be sitting in a room and I'm like, what are we talking about? You
Yeah.
know?
Actually going on. There's no
like,
substance in this room right now.
like this is a waste of time.
Exactly. But that's everybody. That's every guy, man.
Yeah,
Like that's every guy, man. Like, oh man, I think one thing I want to add before we start wrapping this up is like I remember like things started to change. I think when like Kobe passed. That was I think like such a breakthrough for like a lot of guys, including myself, man. Like where I was, it was at this point I was just like, we are talking about it, like man, like you can't like us. We grew up in sports, and when that happened, like we really felt some type of way. Like like I wrote a whole piece about it where I just broke down, and for a few days, I swear to God, I did not know what was like gonna happen the next day to myself. I was really, really in this, you know, it's just bad space, and like, but then, like I meet with friends and you talk about it and you just see like, wow, man, life is fragile, bro. So let's, fuck the bullshit and let's really like be present in life. Let's be here, let's be here for each other, man, because it could be any of us. If that could happen to the GOAT, like what's for it not to happen to me or you right now, you
yeah,
know? So like I feel like that was as unfortunate and as unreal that happened. It was still like a start where guys can talk about something
yeah.
other than bullshit. Um, so yeah, man,
It's crazy. Like just
it's
the way
crazy.
that society works, man. I don't know how to put it into words. Like it's just something needs to be changed. I don't even know where to start because you just don't know how. I don't know, bro. Like where, how to fix this, because I feel
Right.
like it's something that's just, it's going to be here for a while. That's what I think. I
Oh,
just,
for sure. But
to,
I really hope that like in my lifetime and yours, we see that pattern changing. And we see males, boys, black boys, white boys, whatever, really being able to like express themselves and say like, hey, from an early age, I think that's what we need to do. And I think this generation will try to do the best, better than the last generation for sure, and make sure that like, yo, I'm gonna make sure I bring up my son or my daughter in a world that like they can tell me if something's wrong, and express that to me in an unfiltered way. Because I feel like a lot of it just stems from like upbringings. Parents just don't know how to deal with a child that's just in his room. They don't know what that means. I mean, they think that he's just doing weed, like like he's on he's on some crack, bro. Like like they don't know. Well, when someone's just in his room or on his phone all day or skipping dinner or like they don't know, like they just think like the most, they just think it's drug related or it's you know just like a phase. They don't understand that, like, well, maybe there's something going on
Maybe
here.
he's sad right now.
Yeah, maybe he's sad. Why is he sad? Is it because of me? Those that conversation does not happen. I swear to God, I don't. My parents have never been like, maybe something I said. I'm sorry, and like, it's getting better. That's because I'm trying to educate them on that. But like, I think parents' upbringing and, like you said, environment and
Yeah,
all that is it's part of the issue. That's just society, man. As long as much as we progress, the conversation progresses as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where it goes in the future. Hopefully things start to get better, you
Hopefully in
know?
the present. Hopefully in the present. But yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I think that wraps it up, man. I wish we could keep going, but we gotta keep it. We gotta keep it condensed. Thank you guys for tuning in. Uh, Shoot us emails, DMs. Our ads are gonna be everywhere here in this area. So let us know what you want to hear next. We talked about porn. We talked about mental health. Let us know if you want us to bring different voices, and we plan on bringing um, extra guests and really start getting different experiences into the podcast. So let us know what you want to hear. It could be anything uncomfortable. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. And until next time, be safe.
Make
Love
sure
y'all.
you hit that subscribe button, you know,
Yeah,
turn
go do that.
notifications on. Make sure
Do
you hit
that.
the subscribe button so you know when
And send this to your friend, man. Send this to your cousin, or start on some serious shit. Start a conversation with a friend. After this, hit up, call someone right now. Don't end this and go play some 2K. Go talk to somebody, bro. And check up on your friends. Check up on yourself. And more importantly, prioritize yourself. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.